What's up, YouTube family? I finally managed to get things rolling again with this Anthro course. When we last left off, I performed a simulation test for the baggy hoodie. In the next series of lessons, I'm going to perform the last simulation test on the more complex cropped hoodie. And yes, I did say series of lessons. When I started this course back in 2024, I typically used to put out lessons that were several hours long. I realized that these are hard to get through, so I'm going to adopt the same method I'm using for my advanced skeleton course and keep each lesson at about 10 minutes, with 15 minutes being the maximum length. The techniques I'm about to showcase are going to echo those used for the ripped jeans and the baggy hoodie. You will see some evolution in the process or a slightly different approach because of how this article of clothing is broken up, and also because of the needs of this particular simulation. So as I mentioned previously, the cropped hoodie is more complex. It has a lot of moving parts that have been divided into their own nCloth panels. Just like the baggy hoodie, this asset is not complete, but I want to make sure the primary design will play nice with nCloth before finalizing the sculpt work. So the cropped hoodie proxy mesh setup is divided into 5 panels. There's a unique cloth node for the hoodie, the main body, the first undershirt, the second undershirt, the hanging straps, and the pouches on the sleeve. If you remember, this design is a combination of several hoodie types. I used the same technique for the proxy mesh development that was used for the jeans and the baggy hoodie tests. I went into ZBrush, did a whole bunch of Dynameshing and Z-remeshing. Then I sent the mesh to Maya to optimize it. I'm using a white and gray shading color scheme for the proxy mesh and a green and yellow color scheme for my final meshes that will be wrapped onto the simulated proxy meshes. Even though I do not rely on this information down to a T, let's review the material types that we're dealing with. The main subject of this cropped hoodie appears to be made out of nylon. Nylon has a stiff feel to it, a property that makes it resist deformation. So this is another scenario where I can rely on input mesh attract, deform resistance, and rigidity to help me get a good stiff feel. The underlying clothing articles, the hoodie and the shirt, can be simulated like their regular cotton equivalents. But ultimately, this level of detail in simulation or nailing the exact material type is not necessary. As I may have mentioned in the last few simulations, for stylized characters, you have the important task of simplifying the simulation result so there is no need for a granular or a tertiary level of deformation. And in this case specifically, I'm taking the liberty of experimenting with results that look cool, but that do not exactly echo the exact behavior of the equivalent material. So keep that in mind as I step through the decision-making process for this simulation. All right, now I want to step through the constraining system for this simulation. So you can see a lot of component-to-component constraints being used. The main one, which is a popular one that I do, is the constraining of the wrist to the elastic ribbing of these hoodies. That one is always almost necessary. You have to make sure you fasten this or else it's going to slide down the arm. So there's one there, there's one on the other side. And in this instance, because the hoodie is not as complicated as the baggy hoodie, it's a very easy attachment. So there's one constraint that attaches the hoodie to the main body or the main body of the cropped hoodie. I think I should do something like this for the bagged hoodie, because one thing you'll notice about this simulation is that the results are more predictable. It just seems like when you cut things up into different panels, you get more predictable behavior. You can even control things individually a lot better. So I feel like, just like I decided with the baggy hoodie to separate the sleeves and attach them via a component-to-component constraint, it wasn't necessary in this case, but I do think for the final simulation, I should consider that. Consider where the seam is and cut it and make an attachment. Now, the other constraints are the attachment of this underlying shirt to the underlying hoodie. So that one is just a simple one too. Vertices have been attached to each other, so you can see them sort of fastened to each other. The other one is these nylon straps, right? There's one for each. There's a component-to-component constraint for each. They are attached to the cropped hoodie. This is very important. If you see how this thing simulates, these nylon straps are in fact connected to this main panel. And thankfully, the actual final model is going to be thicker, so there won't be too many issues as far as penetration with the final model. But yeah, all four of them are attached to this main cropped hoodie. And the last one, and which you'll see is probably the most interesting one to resolve, is these pouches on the sleeve. And they are also attached in a very interesting way to the main body, right? I had to actually move things around to ensure that the vertices are as close to each other as possible. It's not perfect, but there is a nice separation between them that allows them to connect and sort of fasten to each other nicely. And yeah, I'm actually surprised at how well it turned out, but I did run into some issues which you're going to see when it comes to these pouches. So that's the component-to-component constraint setup for this outfit. That's a lot of constraints. They're not particularly expensive because they are sort of cheap attachments. And every single one of them is using the default strength. I don't think I went in there to change any of the strength of these components. So it's the default strength of 20 for each and every one of them. So this is a look at the first simulation with the default nCloth settings. Compared to the first simulations of the baggy hoodie and the jeans, this is not bad at all. This is why I think the separation of panels is a better choice to go with. I think the system can handle it a lot better. Now, ultimately, this still looks ridiculous. Everything feels like the character is underwater. But the other noticeable issue is how the pouches on the sleeve are dragging at the sleeves. Being that at the default settings, everything is the same mass, I couldn't bring myself to understand why that was happening. So in the next lesson, I'm going to step through the list of changes I made and the reasoning I relied on to make those changes. Eventually, I end up with a result I think is good enough to prove that this article of clothing won't be a problem to simulate. So I'll see you in the next lesson where I walk through the properties that got this article of clothing to behave.